It's Kendrick Technology Interpreters, and today we're going to be hacking IoT devices, specifically a webcam, as part of the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2022 Day 21 event. So I've done this video a lot of times, so I'm going to share what I have here, so I get a chance to condense this down for you. So the first question, I want to show you how I got that. So I scanned all ports within map, but the answer was also right here in the documentation because it clearly told you that the default port for the Mosquito protocol was 1883. So if you were to simply just do a nmap scan targeting 1883, you could do that. So I'll show you the two nmap commands I initially ran. So I ran the -p- first, and that scans all ports. And so I looked through the output from that command because I was looking for it, and it did indeed show this. So I'll scroll up. Sorry, you can see my device is struggling a little bit. So I'll show you how that's the output looked here. But I was able to see the port 1883 right here. And I was also able to see the version right there. But then, so you can go ahead and answer that one with 1883. But then it asks me a question. It says, was the device init topic enumerated during the script scan of all ports? Now, in my scan of all ports, it did not. I did not see it here, and maybe I missed it. But I looked through and I was pretty thorough, and I even copied it out to a text editor and went through the text editor to see if I could find it. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. Maybe some of this other information covered it up, but I then went back and I did a scan of just the port 1883 only. And I'll show you, here's that scan right here. So basically the same command basically with tag P space 1883 at the end. And then what I realized is right here that there's actually the device init right there. And so to answer the question, it said, was it displayed in the output? Was the device init topic enumerated by the nmap during the scan of all ports? My answer was no, but according to this is incorrect. So the answer here apparently is correct, and yes. Not sure what I did wrong there, so feel free to drop a comment. Let me know how I missed it, or maybe it's in there and I just didn't see it. But either way, that's fine. And then, of course, it goes on to ask you what's the version that of Mosquito that we're using, and that was available in my first scan, and we could clearly see that it was what 1.6.9. So let's go ahead and put 1.6.9 for our version information. Let's make sure that's correct. And then finally, it wants us to get the flag. So this is where we start to get into the instructions. And this can be a little bit tricky. So I want to make sure I take my time, walk you through it. So if you're walking through the tutorial with me, take your time here. Make sure you follow exactly what I'm doing here. We're going to see if we can both not get lost. All right, so now that we've verified it, that 10.10.244 is the endpoint and using the nmap scan. We want to run our first command. We want to use Mosquito sub to subscribe to the device feed to enumerate the device. So we're going to use first line. You can use MOS. And you can tab that out. It actually tabs out, which is good. SU, and it tabs out to sub. And so remember, I think we had to do the tag H for host. And it's going to be 10.10.244.84, which they referenced in the first part of it. So now we have our host. Now let's make sure we got to specify our topic. So let's go back to our syntax here. And it shows you sub, we got a tag T, so tag T right here, and then the topic. So our topic is not device ping, okay? So let's make sure we are using what's here. So ours is device init, so tag T, device init. Press enter, and if we do this right, it's going to return the ID that we're going to need to complete the rest of the exercise. So let's see. Okay, there it is right here. So this is the ID that we actually already found, remember, in the nmap command, because we found the topic, which is really cool that we were able to do that. So let's make sure these should be identical. So it ends in 7. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. We'll use this one. Let's see if this works. I'm going to Control-Shift-C to copy from the terminal. But ends in Q4, begins in 7J. Q4, 7J. So that looks like we got the topic. So we got two places that we were able to identify that. Now that we have the topic, we need to come here and we need to start our server. Now I can tell you, you can simply copy this command as it is. You don't need to make any modifications. This is a default command. You can right click on the link above it, and you can see that on the GitHub that this is actually directly 100% the command. And if you're using the TryHackMe box that's already pre-built, this should work without issue. So let's go ahead and copy this to the clipboard. Okay, and we should just be able to Control V now to paste that and press enter. And I'll close the clipboard. All right, so now our port is up and we're listening. That's good. We don't need to do the second half of this because we didn't have any issues. So now next we have to publish. So we'll do a new tab and we can simply try Control-Shift-T. Okay, that doesn't work because once again, we're working inside the TryHackMe box. But typically we should be able to do a Control-Shift-T in your new tab or Shift-Control-T. All right, so we'll open a new tab, and so now we got to do our publish command. This is where we have to be very, very detailed on our syntax. Okay, so mosquito, start there with pub, which I just type P because publish is the only command there. All right, and then is what it's telling us is we've got to list our device, the ID, which is what we obtained earlier. So let's go back and let's grab one of these lines right here that has our ID. Control-Shift-C. And we'll need that in just a second. So device, and we'll complete ID with that, and then the command that we're going to run. Okay, and so that being the case, you can find the syntax here. Go to the publish command, so pub, so we want to attack H. And then of course we want to list the host that we're trying to communicate. And if you scroll down, once again, mention the exercise, this is going to be 10.10, 244.84. Okay, so that's the first part of the command. The second part of the command is we need to list, let's see, what is it? The tag T, so the topic that we're going to be referencing. And so for tag T, this is where we need to be very specific, okay? So look at the format. So it's typically, it would just be device info. For us, they want us to reference the topic, which is going to be device. So it's going to be device ID. I'm not sure why it's not. Okay, there we go. Control-Shift-V, paste an ID, and then command. Okay, and remember, and this is where it gets really interesting because I want you to make a note here. All right, when you expand these, it's a couple of things. The command that we need to change the RTSP, which stands for Real-Time Streaming Protocol, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is what it is, and that's what I use when I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch and different things like that. But if you notice here in the code right here, there's a target command of 10. And so that's also what we want to put here is a target command of 10. So device, the ID that we were able to get from the code, and 10. I also think it mentions it here somewhere in the extra exercise that you're using 10. Maybe it doesn't, but let's go ahead for the sake of time. So let's put 10 there. All right, and then the last part of the command is we need to put the message. Okay, so I'll collapse this. And in order to specify message, we need to type the TACM command. And then we're going to open with double quotes. And this is where you have to be mindful. Like, this is just like standard syntax. Sometimes if you want to actually specify double quote, because remember the syntax of everything here is it's open and the message is surrounded by two double quotes, right? By double quotes on the front and the end. Okay. But inside it, in order to specify all your commands, you also have to use double quotes. So this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky because we have to specify the message itself and we have to specify the real-time streaming protocol. So let's see if we can do this. So the first part of this is, where is it? We got that, we can skip there. That's what we're going to use for real-time protocol. And by the way, the path parameter, that's something that we make up. You don't have to worry about that. I searched for that for some time. It is literally something that we make up. Okay. So what I'm looking for now is for this message, I need to specify I have a URL and a topic. So that's what I'm trying to locate right now. Should have taken a picture on my phone because I've run through this before. All right, not there, not there. By the way, this is where most people are tuning out. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. But I'm sorry that I run into this roadblock. Okay, so publish to it. Device command topic, tag message. And then I remember part of the syntax is like something equals, I'll just type part of it. So I have to put URLs in triple quotes, URL : URL. All right, and so the easiest thing, I'll show you. Sometimes I get stuck, and so let me show you what I will do to rescue myself. URL. That's not it right there. That's not it. It's going to be mentioned a lot here, but it's the only parameter that I know right now. Okay, there it is right there in the web camera expected format. Cool. So I can actually, for the message, open single quotes. You want to put, and this is where it gets really interesting. Open the bracket, 3 double quotes, command, because 3 double quotes equals 1 double quote. Okay, you're doing what's called escaping. Colon, and then value. And for us, remember the value was actually 10. We need to also close this. Oh, and you know what? I think I got something. Oh, I did. I made a mistake. If you look on my, in my first category, I messed up. So I was supposed to list the ID. Right after ID, I messed that up. It's ID and command, so not 10. And it's all lowercase. There we go. So that device and command. Okay, cool. Now, because the command of 10 goes right here. And so once I put the 10, we can go back to our respective format here, and we'll continue with that. So value. All right, that's good. 10 and a comma, and then 3 double quotes. And URL, all caps, 3 double quotes, colon, and then the value. And this is going to be the real-time streaming protocol in caps, RTSP, colon, whack. And then this is going to be an IP address of our box that we're currently working on, which I have covered up here, 10.10.236.244. For those of you that may be new to this type of exercises, you could have simply just run an ifconfig. And it's going to be, you got a lot of these interface names right here on the left side. But Ethernet 1, ETH0 refers to your Ethernet. And since we're on the Hack the Box server, this is the one we're going to be using. So we'll do that. And IP address 10.10.236.244. So those all match. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll go back to the previous tab. And let's go ahead and put that, because remember, we're going to tell them basically the camera to stream the data back to our device. So 10.10.236.244. Okay, now with that listed, we want to make sure our port is 8554, which was specified before, and then we're going to put my stream as a path. Once again, you make this up. And once I do that, I will end this with a final double quote and press enter. Now, if I was able to get this correct, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my server, and you'll see, sorry, of course the phone always ring. All right, so we're going to go back to our server here, and we'll see what's, did we get a connection? Yeah, looks like we did get a connection. Okay, cool. All right, so that being the case, I got my stream published to my stream. It looks like we got a connection. So now we get a chance to go to the final part. Let's see if all this works, and we're gonna actually see the camera and see the flag at this point. So we're gonna use VLC. VLC is basically a remote program to connect and do screen, to see the screen. And in order to do that, it's VLC, RTSP, colon, quack, and once again, 127.0.0.1, which represents the actual loopback or the address of the server that I'm currently, or the box that I'm attacking from, right? And 8544, and path is my stream. All right, we connect to that. All right, so that's going to tell me that I got, and looky here. And if you look at it, we were able to connect to it. And right there on the screen, we actually have the camera, and there's the flag. So let's go ahead and put the flag in, which is THM, your underscore camera is mine. Close that. Let's go ahead and submit that. That's the final flag, and we'll complete the exercise. We'll learn more about command injection. Very awesome module. And sorry, I stumbled through this a little bit, but it happens. But for those of you that are watching, thank you so much for watching the video. Thanks you for supporting my channel. I'm getting about 100 subscribers a month now, so I'm very happy about that. And don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I'll see you for day 22.